Number one, this is, there, that's her alarm call. See, I'm not even touching her, but she's saying, I don't like this. These chicks, because of the cameras that GEP has provided, we know exactly when the eggs were laid and when they hatched. So we know that one of these birds, the two of these birds are 30 days old and one is 28 days old. And I can tell by looking at this bird that it's a female. There are many different ways we can tell. Just her sheer size tells me that she's a female. She is just as big as her parents right now. Were you as big as your parents when you were 30 days old? I don't think so. These birds grow incredibly fast. I'm going to weigh her just to confirm by her weight that she's a female. And we can tell by weight at this age. She is 900 grams, 900. So Lane, if you could write that down. This is bird number 2 because we've already done bird number 1 upstairs. Now the females are larger than the males. This is true for falcons and hawks and owls. It's important to know the sex because the females, being larger, get a larger band. We wouldn't want to put a band that's too small on the bird. That would not be good. One of them is obvious, to band them. Another is, because of what I'm about to do, it gives us an opportunity to give health checks to the birds to make sure they're healthy. And if there are health issues, we can deal with health issues right on the spot. If there are really serious health issues, we can take it to a qualified wildlife rehabilitator for further medical treatment. So that's reason number 2. And reason number 3 is to find out what's happening at the nest. Here you can watch these birds on camera, but that's not true on cliff ledges or in recesses on bridges and so forth. For many of our nests, we don't know what's happening. We don't know whether they have babies. We don't know how many until we actually go there to see. So that's the 3rd reason. Okay, I'm going to hand this bird to Officer Bills. And the first thing I'm going to check is her mouth. And I'm looking for evidence of a disease called trichomoniasis. Okay? And her mouth is nice and clean. That's what we like to see. Trichomoniasis is a parasitic disease that they can get that is almost always fatal at this age. And we're prepared to give it antibiotics if it has trich, but it does not. And that's what we like to see. Her eyes are nice and clean. Okay, they're good. That's evidence of good health. I'm going to check her ears. Sometimes they get parasites in their ears. That's pretty disgusting. But if they have parasites in their ears, we can take those out. And her ears are nice and clean. I'm going to check the development of her flight muscles. And that's good. I could tell that by her weight. I'm going to check her for what we call ectoparasites, which means parasites on the outside. Okay? They can have blood-sucking flies, and that's not good. They can have lice, which suck blood, and that's not good. They can have mice that actually eat feathers, and that's not good. I don't see any of that on her. If we saw that, we would treat them with something to kill those parasites. I'm going to look at her feet. Her feet are well developed. Now I'm going to do something really embarrassing. I'm going to check her vent, her rear end. Okay? Because sometimes they get parasites in there, and that's really disgusting, isn't it? But if she had parasites there, then we would get rid of those for her. And she's nice and clean. That's what we like to see. Okay. Now, I can tell by her weight that she's a female. I can tell by her size and by her head that she's a female. But I'm going to do another thing. This is a leg gauge, so I can measure her leg. And the females have larger legs than the males. Thank you for biting me. And this is just another check. And yes, she needs a size 7A band. That's the size band that the females get. And that's why it's especially important to get the sex right so we can give them the right size band. Okay.
This is the smaller of the two, is it not?
I'm sorry?
This is the smaller of the two that we have in here, is it not?
No, that's the larger of the two.
Good.
We were looking at these birds before. We were looking at them on camera, in fact, and I thought, and others thought, that we had 2 girls and a boy. But we don't. We have two big girls and a smaller girl. Or I should say a not quite so big girl. So Lane and Cheryl, I'm going to show you this band, if you could just write down the number. It's the next one in sequence, 89. Okay, you got that? 1947 07089. That's the big number. 07089.
Emergency has been reported in this building. Please exit using the stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Attention. Emergency has been reported in
What do we do?
this building.
Let's
Please
just,
exit using the stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Attention. Emergency has been reported in this building.
okay. All right, if everyone can exit.
Put white tape on the band on the right leg.
You're worried about hurting them.
White tape.
Too active. Get that box. You good?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want her hurting herself. She's that strong, but I can, you know,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Right.
They're shedding.
Look at this floor. The call is 2 weeks
That's
early
down.
next year.
She's